Good afternoon, y'all. Oh shit, let's get into it. When will we realize that there is nowhere to go, nothing to do, everything to experience? Are we ever truly here? We can be. It is within our wheelhouse to experience the present moment. But how many of us truly allow it to happen? How many of us truly allow the source to speak its sweet nothings that are filled with the substance that life is created of into our inner ear, directly into our spirit? Through the sensations we experience, what we feel, what we intuit in these moments of intimacy where there is no illusory, dualistic concepts created by man to separate us from the space beyond words, the space beyond what people think wisdom is, to where we know wisdom is, where we can feel wisdom, the direct insight into the nature of life, which reveals the nature of our life, which reveals the nature of their life, which we realize is only our life manifested in a different direction, in a different time and space, but the same time and space. This body is not the limit. The mind is not the limit. The limit is the prisons we create through attaching ourselves to man-made ideas and concepts, restricting who we are to identities that were placed upon us, destroying our imagination, killing our curiosity, undermining our understanding. There is something deeper available for all of us, something more profound, more direct. But will we feel it? Will we allow ourselves to experience it? Or will we cling to man-made designations of right and wrong? Will we allow the dualistic concepts created by man, created by society, to confine our mind to lines, to a rat race, to a hamster wheel designed to distract us from our personal peace? And it is our personal peace that is our personal power. When will fear cease to exist? When we become aware of it. And when we become aware of it without judgment, observing it, knowing that honestly it's nonsensical. Or most fear is at all, at least. People act like fear is the motivator that will take us to our highest heights. But is truly what keeps us to our lowest lows. Even the fear that people use as motivation, that they say got them out of a certain situation, at some point that fear was transformed. You did not remain in it, you did not bask in it. That fear was transformed to ambition. The fear was transformed to choosing. The fear was transformed to trying, to making efforts to better yourself, to benefit yourself, to extricate yourself from a situation that was no longer tenable. To thank the fear, but not to thank the transformation, is a mistake. It is a small-minded, egotistical understanding of what moves humans, what moves humanity. It is the confirmation of bias that was installed within us, that was the indoctrinating theories we were born into and forced to accept as a child. But it's not true. It is not the truth. At some point, if you want to grow, you will have to let these limits go. You will have to let go of the limiting understanding of yourself and your motivations through the lens of fear, through the lens of lack, through the lens of competition, through the lens of being attached to acceptance and approval from people you don't control. Your happiness is a function of expectations. To expect to control the approval of other people sets you up for disappointment, sets you up for unhappiness, sets you up for fleeting moments of ease, of relaxation. Then once that moment is over, because you have based your sense of happiness in something out of your control, something unsustainable, something that can only last for a moment, back to a sense of dis-ease, a sense of stress and tension, you have to go. Where else is there for you to go once you have done that? Once you have made yourself beholden to the opinions of others for your sense of security, your sense of safety. There is nowhere else to go. You just restart the cycle from that limiting position that you don't realize that you're choosing to place yourself in, because that is what has been normalized since you were a child. What a blessing it is that we get to reparent ourselves, to choose different for ourselves if we become aware. If we stop believing the lies that we have to prove ourselves worthy of existence, if we stop believing the lies that there is something wrong with us, if we let go of the idea that we are sinful, deserving of shame, deserving of guilt, and realize that each of us is a Buddha, an awakened person, ready to step into peace, balance, and joy. But you must see through the illusions. see through the dualistic representations of life and nature that restrict that which can't be explained to words, symbols, concepts, pictures. Stop fearing your feelings, running from your feelings. Give yourself the time and space to become aware of them, to stop judging them and start observing them. Who are we to judge even ourselves? There is right, there is wrong, but you reach that from observation, not from judgment. The morality, the natural inclination of humans to do good, to be well, comes from harmonizing with nature. We've misrepresented nature, that of the outside world, in our own human nature, which is not separate from the rest of nature. We've misrepresented these things because of fear, but we only fear nature because we desire to control it. Our spirit knows this is impossible, yet we desire it anyways. We seek to resist change when life is change. How can you resist life? It's impossible. So we seek to do the impossible and then become upset when we can't do it. It's just a interesting way of being that is not natural. But we can choose to become natural. We can choose to let go of these things, to realize there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, only a place to be, which is right here, right now, in the present moment, listening to our heart, feeling our gut, realizing that the energy we put into the world, it does determine our karma. Karma is just a consequence of our actions. So being afraid to try, being afraid to go for something, it doesn't make sense. Because the more you go for something, the more you put your karma in a direction that will bring you closer to what you want. And you must remember to do this place, make our efforts from a place of balance. If you make your efforts from a place of balance, then it's much safer, honestly. You know, it's I'm loath to say safety because people think of safety as necessarily remaining in comfort. But if you can do uncomfortable things from a place of balance, then really you can do uncomfortable things without necessarily being afraid, and with knowing you're doing uncomfortable things the safest way you can do it. It's like when you seek to walk, to move, to play a sport, to do a dance, to do anything physically. The safest way to do things physically is from a place of balance. And you can only find balance if you remain relaxed and allow nature, the ground, to support you and your muscles as much as it can. So this is the internal harmony that applies to physical energy, also applies to mental energy, because they're one and the same. The body is the mind and the mind is the body. So any efforts we make in life involve both, involve the one. So it's important to make efforts from a place of balance. And it's hard to do things from a place of balance when you're afraid, because being afraid introduces tension into the mind and the body mind, and that tension inherently means that you are not on balance, you are not properly balanced. There's some kind of compensatory movement or compensatory thought process undermining your ability to freely flow from a stable position. Energy travels the same in your body, in the universe, in people, in society. Energy always tells. But because we have become obsessed with symbols, concepts, man-made things, many people have lost their ability to listen to energy unfiltered. The energy they listen to, the energy they feel, the energy they see, the energy they sense gets filtered through man-made stories, man-made ideas and concepts, and we get further and further from the truth. We get further and further from from reality, from the direct experience of the energy of the source, because of our own personal biases. But if we are wise, then being aware of our biases means we become more aware of the source energy, because we understand what is limiting our ability to sense a certain situation from a place of balance, from a place of openness. Alright, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Love you guys. You know, whoever's listening to this, I love you for real, for real. It does not mean I approve of your actions, but I love you. I believe in your potential. I know you are a Buddha. I know you are. But will you wake up?